All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking Sir Ken Robinson's incredibly compelling vision for dismantling our completely outdated school system. If you've ever had that nagging feeling that the way we educate kids is just fundamentally out of sync with the real world, well, you're definitely going to find this fascinating.
So let's kick things off by challenging that universally accepted story of traditional schooling. You know the exact one I'm talking about, right? Go to school, do exactly as you're told, get good grades, and boom, success is guaranteed. Well, we're going to look pretty closely at the reality of modern education and ask ourselves, is this system actually designed for a world that, quite frankly, just doesn't exist anymore?
Now, looking at our core source material here, Creative Schools, Sir Ken Robinson and Aronica make this profound yet actually really simple argument. They say we don't need top-down reform from politicians who, let's be honest, often fundamentally misunderstand how people actually learn. What we desperately need instead is a grassroots revolution. We don't just need to tweak or fix the industrial model, we literally need to completely transform it from the ground up.
Okay, just to make sure we're all on exactly the same page, let's quickly define 4 crucial terms. Because, as Robinson points out, human beings are these highly curious, natural learning organisms right from the second we're born. So learning is that natural acquisition of knowledge. Education, on the other hand, refers to organized programs of learning. Training is focused specifically on practical skills. And school, well, it doesn't just mean some brick-and-mortar building. It actually means any community of people coming together to learn with each other.
But over time, that definition of school got completely trapped in an industrial-era myth. Here's the story we've all been sold. It's essentially an assembly line model created way back in the 19th century to meet the labor needs of the Industrial Revolution. It treats intelligence like a measurable commodity, essentially assuming that passing standardized tests inevitably leads to a solid professional job. But as we all know, the economy has shifted dramatically, while our schools, well, they really haven't.
So what's the root of the problem here? It's what education expert Pasi Sahlberg refers to as the Global Education Reform Movement, or perfectly acronymized as GERM. It's a highly contagious worldwide political movement that actively prioritizes standardization, intense competition between schools, and the complete corporatization of learning. Basically, it forces rote memorization and high-stakes testing, completely ignoring the holistic, individual needs of the actual students.
And this academic-only path to a 4-year college, it has an immense, devastating, real-world financial cost. Just look at the U.S. alone. Student debt reached $1.3 trillion back in 2013. To put that massive number into perspective for you, that actually outpaces all credit card debt combined. Absolutely wild. We are literally saddling young people with mortgage-sized debts for degrees that don't even guarantee employment anymore.
And for those who don't fit into that specific mold, the statistics get even more alarming. 1.5 million young people drop out of U.S. high schools every single year. Let me repeat that. That's about 7,000 students a day deciding that this conventional, highly standardized system actively alienates them and offers absolutely nothing to their lives. They aren't failing the system is fundamentally failing them.
So the really crucial point here is this incredibly sharp financial and moral contrast, which exposes the tragic economics of what we call the school-to-prison pipeline. Get this, it costs about $11,000 to educate a student for a year in the U.S., but it costs over $20,000 a year to keep someone in jail, and over 2/3 of state and federal prisoners don't even have a high school diploma. When our rigid system pushes students out, the cost to society is, frankly, absolutely catastrophic.
And here's the kicker. Even for the quote-unquote winners in this system, the victory is incredibly hollow. This is what's known as the PISA paradox. Countries just obsess over their global PISA standardized test rankings. Take South Korea. They consistently rank at the very top. But what's the actual human cost? South Korea also faces record levels of student anxiety and truly tragic youth suicide rates. Meanwhile, globally, chasing these rote academic skills has led to a massive disconnect with the actual economy, resulting in a staggering 73 million unemployed youth worldwide.
A grassroots education revolution.
We clearly need a totally different path. And instead of just sitting around waiting for theoretical, government-mandated fixes, we've got to look to the educators who are actively creating change right now. Because real change grows from the ground up. If you are involved in the education of young people in any capacity, whether you're a parent, a teacher, a principal, you are the system. You don't have to wait for new legislation. You have the immediate power to enact localized, organic change in your own community.
And we can actually see this grassroots power in action through the incredible turnaround of Smoky Road Middle School down in Georgia.
When Dr. Lori Barron arrived there, it was literally the lowest performing school in the district, plagued with terrible discipline issues. But instead of immediately forcing more test prep down their throats, she instituted this brilliant, practical 4-step plan. First, get the kids to actually attend. Second, make them feel physically safe. Third, value them as individuals. And only then, fourth, do you tackle the curriculum.
Now, step 3 is where the magic really happened. By anchoring learning to what the students actually cared about, everything shifted. Dr. Barron had this one troubled student, a kid with 33 discipline referrals, who absolutely loved football. The school sat him down and said, "Hey, football is the most important thing, and we're going to help you use that exact passion to pass your classes." His discipline issues vanished overnight. Another student who was grieving the loss of her father was failing everything until a teacher gave her a solo in the chorus. She went on to make straight A's the rest of the year. Academic performance just naturally soared once the individual was actually valued.
Designing a 21st century curriculum. Once we actually ensure our students feel valued and safe, we've got to completely rethink what we're teaching them so they're prepared for a highly unpredictable future. Because what the world needs today has fundamentally changed. An IBM survey of 1,500 global leaders across 80 countries revealed a massive, glaring skills gap. Modern economies don't need highly trained test takers who excel at rote learning. They desperately need adaptability to change and creativity in generating new ideas. They need entrepreneurs, problem solvers, and genuine innovators.
And a teacher named Casey Shia out in California proves exactly how we can teach this by completely reimagining the old shop class. At Annaly High School, he mixed the academic and vocational tracks, creating this incredible makerspace filled with 3D printing and robotics. But get this, it wasn't just about building cool things. The students actually had to design products and pitch them as real businesses. Like, they created custom coasters and pitched them to local microbreweries. They learned math, finance, and entrepreneurship by actively participating in the real world. How cool is that? To achieve this kind of success across the board, we need a curriculum that actually reflects human complexity. A Montessori educator reviewing creative schools beautifully outlined a balanced, interdisciplinary approach for this. It argues for giving equal weight to things like computer science and mathematics, right alongside the arts, humanities, and what she calls peace education, which covers mindfulness and social-emotional learning. We literally cannot sideline the arts and humanities just to boost our math scores. They are absolutely crucial to a student's intellectual development.
Finally, we absolutely must connect students with their wider communities. Take a look at the De La Salle Education Center, a charter school for at-risk youth. Through these amazing community mentorships, adults from the local business community paired up with students who had troubled pasts but immense, misdirected grit. By offering them a glimpse into real potential futures and forging genuine emotional ties, these mentorships unlocked a kind of hidden potential that standardized testing would never, ever have found. All of this really brings to mind a powerful thought from H.G. Wells. He said, "Civilization is a race between education and catastrophe." And honestly, that perfectly encapsulates the sheer urgency of our situation right now. We are running out of time to transform how we prepare the next generation for the massive environmental, economic, and social challenges ahead. Just doing the same thing slightly better, that won't save us. We have to do something entirely different. So I want to leave you with these profound questions to ponder as we wrap up. Are standardized tests completely obsolete in today's world? And perhaps much more importantly, what is your role in this educational revolution? Whether you're a student, an educator, or a parent, how can you help dismantle the industrial model and foster the immense natural talents hidden within our students? Really think about it. Thanks for learning with us today.